right, we got to figure this out. Just flying solo. Not really doing. Yeah, it's different space, different location, different seat for me. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Iconic Talk, Winchester's number fun podcast with community, conversation, and sometimes the occasional clowning takes center stage. It's once again awesome to be with you here in the Icon Media studio. My name is Mark Francis, your host for today, and I'm flying solo here. No Rachel, no Caleb. Excited to be able to share this specific episode with you. Love to get out all things local Winchester community news, local information, local people, contacts, connections, you name it. This is what you want to get out of a local podcast. I am here for you. Well, I'm excited to get into this specific episode. My guest is going to share tons of local knowledge and insights for you. But even before that, I'll just share some of our opening segments that we like to do, and I get to do it all by myself today, which is going to be a little unique, but I want to share just some of the things happening in the world around us. So Icon Real Estate has been making some news lately where we've announced a partnership with a local franchise, if you want to call it that, of a real estate broker called Real Broker. And ultimately, nothing is changing to you, the general public. Icon Real Estate still exists. We just get a chance to support and assist a lot of behind-the-scenes things that go on of running a business as a real estate agency. So I'm excited to share this partnership, Real Broker and Icon Real Estate. That's just one of your local updates that's happening here in my world and your world as well. On top of that, the Icon Media brand continues to grow. Excited about what that is doing for our community, of how it's meant to shape the marketing and branding of really any small business, local or even regional. We are here to help with photography, videography, graphic design, web design, you name it, all kinds of just how to implement launching a brand or launching an image that you want to do something new, or you want to rebrand yourself or redesign something. Icon Media is the place to go. So iconmedia.cc for that location. And obviously we're here in the Icon Media studio. So being able to assist with podcasts, if you want to jump on Iconic Talk, or if you want to launch your own podcast, we have the space for you as well. That's just the local news and updates for me personally. Let me get to some of our local updates. And first of all, I feel like everybody around us has heard about the Powerball and how, okay, there were winners. 2 winners came out and got the matching numbers and shared that 1.8 billion, I think is what it was. I can't remember the magic number, but somebody from Frederick County won $100,000. So that's not too shabby as well. Personally, I don't play the lottery. I don't think I've ever bought a lottery ticket in my lifetime. Some have been given to me as Christmas gifts, just as like a stocking stuffer, but it just has never appealed to me. So for all of you guys that have done that, good luck next time, and hopefully you can maybe recoup your ticket values whenever you play. Well, that was one local update that happened this past week. The other local news is I'm a big proponent of partnering with community organizations that help develop and build our community for the better. And one of them is Shenandoah Valley's Discovery Museum. They revealed and unveiled a few new exhibits in their building here this past week. So they've done some renovations and have launched a couple of spots. One is a Playful Palette Art Studio there on their 3rd floor. They also released a specific toddler train section on the 3rd floor. And they also have a Space Odyssey and Stars and Stories, a soaring science exhibit, where that's on the 4th floor. So it was really exciting to hear that they unveiled that, because I'm going to be attending, and we'll talk about this at the ending segments of the local events coming up, attending and sponsoring their fundraising gala, which happens in a couple of weeks on September 28th, if I'm not mistaken, on that Saturday night. It's going to be a fun gala to promote and show off what they've done with their new things out there. They were one of my first guests here when Iconic Talk started. We went to their museum and did an on-site interview. That was pretty cool and fun and special of what they offer and provide. And I know the president over there and many on the board of directors, and Dawn over there does a great job of just engaging with the community. So you can put that on your calendar. It's September 27th. That Saturday night is when their event happens. So that's the local news and information here for us. There's all kinds of things that you can find in the Winchester Star or getting online. Friends of Old Town is also a great partner of mine. They are continually developing just the economic area here of Winchester and trying to bring revitalization to town. So just support them, and you can go to their website as well. Well, when it comes to our guests, it's going to be a wealth of local sports knowledge. You have heard him on Iconic Talk a couple times in the past. He is a friend of the show. I've been a part of his show before in the past as well and sponsor what he does over there. So it's a lot of just cross promotion of having Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast. He, I feel like, oozes just local sports trivia and stats, and he knows a lot of the people in town here. He knows a lot of the local football coaches and volleyball teams and follows all of them, and he really gets into depth with conversations that come to sports in our local community. And I wanted to have him back on here before the football season got too far away from us to talk about the local sports and also the professional sports around here that many of us care about. So I'm excited to share this with you. The conversation with my friend, Josh Kirby. Well, we are here with Josh Kirby in the Icon Media Studios. How are you?
I mean, this studio, pretty darn cool.
I'm excited to have you back.
I appreciate the
third time's a charm.
Yeah.
We've had you on for...
Wait, fourth?
Yeah, you tell me.
I think it was 4 times.
I love it. And
But first time in the studio here.
First time in the studio, first time visual in person.
This is pretty legit. I mean, I've seen what creators do, content creators, and seeing a space like this it adds another element.
Adds another level.
We're just having a conversation. It's not just like we have a recorder and 2 mics. We're just having genuine conversation. It kind of feels like this mic isn't here.
That's the whole goal.
I know.
Is to make it comfortable, just like we're sitting on a couch chatting with just talking shop here with people.
Oh, yeah.
And you are a major content creator yourself. So takes one to know one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I want to hear all about what's happening in your world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but remind me, who gave you the idea for this again?
Mr. Josh Kirby.
No.
Walked into one of his workspaces, and he was like, you need to start I think we've shared this every single time here in this podcast, but you said you should start a podcast.
And look where it's gotten.
Look where it's taken it. This is a good 5-6 years ago.
I mean, just massive amount of respect for what you're doing, because you've started your own brand, the podcast, obviously, from just audio and branching out to a video element and getting more and more cool and creative guests on too.
Hey, well, you're getting there. You're getting you're not the top creative, content person and guest here, but you're getting up there because you are growing. That's what I'm here to talk about too.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk some about like how your brand has been growing.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, we have a long way to go, and it's not just me. We went through the rebrand process this year, and big thanks to Carlos, one of my co-hosts. It's Carlos and Dan on the podcast as we ramp up the NFL football season. But he showed me a logo, and at first, to be honest, I'm not really big on change.
Yeah,
but I mean, the logo looks pretty good.
The logo's pretty cool.
Yeah, more simplified,
Yeah.
the same elements. So, you know, it's a change I adapted to.
And branding is important. You know, you got to
Absolutely.
put your name out there, put your face out there,
Absolutely.
be able to have somebody recognize your brand, your logo, your symbol. I mean, when you see a Nike swoosh, you know exactly what that is, right? You know, you see arches, you know exactly what that is.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all about branding.
Well, it's crazy too, because this all started maybe 7 years ago. Back when I was in high school, and Carlos and myself were working with the Shenandoah football team, and we were about to go on a long haul, some out of district opponent, I forget who, and we were just both sitting on one of the stone concrete benches in front of Arrowhead Stadium.
Sure.
I kid you not. And Carlos is like, why don't you start a podcast?
So that's how yours started.
Yeah,
Just sitting there on the sidelines.
I mean, it was a couple years later that maybe a year or two, the year after I graduated, I started doing it. And it wasn't for a couple years after that. I don't remember the exact time frame, but you know, it's just crazy how it all started. And now Carlos is a really big part of the show as well as Dan. He provides some valuable input as well. So it's just crazy to think how long it's been.
Yeah.
And the amount of growth. And again, not trying to talk about you a lot, but same with you, starting audio, getting all this fancy equipment and making it a better and better product.
Well,
that's what it's all about.
Better product, better experience, gets more exposure, gets more listeners, which then helps drive the content. I mean, we want to go beyond this town, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so your listening audience, you're really honing in, especially in this current season, into the high school arena.
Absolutely.
Walk me through kind of how that's evolved for you over the last couple of years.
Well, again, it was sort of an idea. I was like, do I want to? Because I wasn't really sure what it would take, in a sense. Carlos, again, gave me the idea. You should cover high school sports. But I'm like, high school sports, I'm not sure what that looks like. And just in my head, if I don't have a clear vision, a clear path on what it might look like in my mind, I'm afraid I'll screw something up and, you know, kind of do a disservice to the listeners, the supporters of the podcast. And, you know, then it makes me look bad. But I decided one year that I was going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Just try it. Give it a try.
Sure.
Started doing media days for the high school football teams, because high school football is big in this area.
Yeah.
You know high school football. You know what a Saturday is like at the Hanley Bowl.
Yeah.
And once I started doing that, I saw the engagement go up. In this year, huge. High school football, high school volleyball coverage.
Yeah.
The views just on the YouTube videos alone, and just my pre-produced pregame show that goes out on all streaming platforms and YouTube, that's getting numbers too. So again, you know, most of the high school media days were myself, but Carlos has helped with some elements and stuff as well. So it takes a team. You know, it's not just me, but I have some creative elements as well that I implement, but Carlos helps add to it some creative stuff I don't usually think of. So,
well, and you have people on your show, the coaches especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your relationship like with the high school football coaches locally?
It's really good, really gratifying, because some of these coaches, like Coach TJ Rohrbaugh of Shenandoah, I know we've spoken about him before, but he used to be my history teacher.
Yeah, okay.
Like back at Shenandoah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, on the other side, I'm probably thinking, I wonder what it's like, a former student reaching out like, hey, I need to interview you each and every week for my show. But he's greatly appreciated the coverage, and the coverage through Shenandoah's state semifinal run against Phoebus. And that was a huge run, and providing coverage of that too. I think it's huge, and it just goes back to the community, the Winchester community and the Frederick County community and beyond. And I know how big community is for you
Yeah.
in terms of driving your coverage in that aspect. So that's what I think is most gratifying. Not just Shenandoah, that was just an example, but just all the local teams in the area as well.
Well, let's talk about the current season. I mean, we're a couple games in. Shenandoah, are they? How do you? Because that's your bread and butter. That's your hometown crowd. Fan base there, Shenandoah. What's your take on what their current season like? Is it a rebuilding year? Is it like a relaunching year? Or do you feel like they're ready to hit the ground running and make a big run?
They had a really big run last year, and they lost some key pieces, including
Micah Carlson.
Yeah, Micah
lost him as far as quarterback goes.
Yeah, quarterback,
right?
and that's usually what you see in high school football. Once a starting quarterback graduates, you have to figure out who that next piece is. But I think with the coaching staff that Shenandoah has in place, they can have a pretty successful season. They just fell to Loudoun County last week in Leesburg by a point. They are currently 1-1 as we're recording this.
Did I see a 47-yard field goal? Is that
correct?
What I believe it was?
Correct.
That's impressive. When I saw
you
that,
don't usually see that in high school.
I mean, as a former kicker, I know that's as a high schooler too. That's a big foot. That's a big leg.
Yeah,
so to get
absolutely.
a game winner like that, that's going to be a little heartbreaking loss. But they're a good school there too. They're a good team.
Absolutely, and holding 1 point, falling by 1 point. I know it's tough, but that must have been a thriller to cover. But watch, cover, what have you. But Shenandoah, they have the coaching staff in place with Coach Rohrbaugh and staff to have another good season. It's just they lost some key pieces, but have some other pieces coming back that can help them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jalen Tasco Murray opening night, they blanked Amherst County. He rushed in for 3 touchdowns. Starting quarterback Jacob Henry, no stranger to Shenandoah's offense. He actually had to play in a playoff game last year. They got the job done against Jefferson Forest. So he bolted off a huge touchdown run.
Yeah.
Like 50 plus, if I remember.
That's great.
But that was week 1. But just highlighting some of those kids as well. But the defense, too, for Shenandoah in that game, from what I saw, picked up 3 fumbles that Amherst put the ball on the turf, the ground rather. So,
well, Shenandoah 1-1. They still have potential there. But let's talk about the city squad. Hanley 2-0. What's their outlook looking like, and how do you grill these coaches? Do you go deep with hard-hitting questions about what their strategies are? When you talk to them, so what does Hanley season look like for you?
I'm not really a hard-hitting question guy. I mean, I'll be honest. It's just about getting the coverage out there, and like the hard-hitting questions. I mean, I'll ask about the strategy and stuff, but you got to respect some coaches aren't always going to say, "Oh, this is what we're going to do. This is our keys to victory."
Sure.
So you got to respect that too. But 2 very impressive wins so far against Eastern View and Liberty, both on the road. They have a home game, Hall of Fame game against Brentsville this upcoming Saturday. So Hanley so far looking good. Duncan Hensler, their quarterback for the time being, he's been making some good plays, only 1 interception. Hanley's defense stepping up when needed to as well. And key pieces in Jameer Washington, and I'm blanking on his name, but he Isaiah Baxter. He came from the basketball team, first time playing football, if I recall correctly, and he's been making an impact too.
Nice.
So I'm not really sure what Brentsville has coming this upcoming Saturday at the Hanley Bowl, but it could be a good matchup because in years past, Brentsville has been known to put out a good quality product on the field.
Yeah, and then you can't neglect the others. You got Millbrook and you got James Wood. Where do they fall in the mix?
James Wood has pretty much everybody returning back.
That's impressive. That's strong.
Which is huge.
A cohesive squad together like they have.
That's absolutely the term I'm looking for, cohesive. And with the James Wood Colonels finishing last season 7-3, falling to Shenandoah in the first round of the playoffs, they've gotten off to a pretty hot start, 2 very lopsided victories against a young rebuilding Clark County team, and at home against Dominion out of Loudoun County. They traveled down to Culpeper County this Friday as we're recording this. So a chance to get 3-0, but they have a starting quarterback who knows the system well, multiple weapons that they're utilizing in the defense. No matter how big or small the play is, that defense gets fired up.
Nice. Yeah. And Millbrook. So how do they stack? Because again, having 4 schools in the area, you get some rivalries. You get some intense, just town on town excitement, enthusiasm. So Millbrook, people I feel like sometimes are, they might forget about them a little bit.
Millbrook is doing some good things. They have a first-year head coach in Nick Manuel, who spent the past 5 seasons as Shenandoah's defensive coordinator. So he knows football. He is very passionate and cares about his football team and players in terms of bringing success on and off the field. 1-1 on the season. They fell to Loudoun Valley 21-7. Defense huge, though, holding them to only 21 points and traveling to Heritage in Loudoun County and getting a victory. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, but showed a lot of promise.
Yeah.
So I think Millbrook could surprise some people.
Nice.
They're definitely going to fight to the very end, that is for sure. But most of these schools, that's what they do. They go out and give you everything that they have. All these players are out here to enjoy themselves during their high school career and work hard for one another to put the best product out there, in my mind.
It isn't that what it's about. I mean, to have a group of boys come together, play a sport, get the camaraderie, get the experience of doing life together and what sports brings to, everyday life post-graduation, I think is valuable. Yeah. And not every student, not every kid is going to be able to go play at the next level. So for a lot of these seniors, this is kind of a big last hurrah for kids to be able to just show the town what your skills are, and being able to play football is just a fun part of it.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
We can't neglect Clark County, right? I mean, they're a part of our region as well. What's your take on them? How do you get a chance to connect with the Clark County team and coaches as well?
Yeah, so Clark County, they graduated pretty much their entire starting roster from last year. A undefeated regular season falling to Madison County in the first round of the playoffs. Sort of the injury bug getting them, I think. But this year, very young squad. They're fighting hard for the coaching staff, and Casey Childs, longtime head coach there at Clark County. But it's a young team. They're gonna, they're off to an 0-2 start, but they're fighting hard, putting points on the scoreboard. Put up 14 points against Fort Defiance. So I could see Clark winning a few games, but they're fighting hard, and give them credit because they've had a lot of success, and starting 0-2, that's probably a rough feeling. So I'm sure they're going to see the fruits of their labor at some point during this season, if that makes sense.
Sure. Speaking about 0-2, we can move on to your bread and butter, which is the NFL. Yes? That's really where your show likes to dive into long, extended conversations about very minutia, if I say that word properly, topics.
Yeah.
Right? So, especially in this area, the Commanders probably are the ruling fan base, but then you also have Steelers fans that are really close second place, I feel like, with the number of fans around here. You got a lot of Philly Eagles fans around here, and then you can top it off with the Ravens. So amongst all 4 of those teams, there's some pretty good squads in the NFL right now, and I think the likelihood of any of them going 0-2, you got Eagles off to a good start, Commanders, Steelers won. We got to talk about them, and Ravens. So none of them are going to be going 0-2, right?
Ravens lost.
They did lose. That's right.
I stayed up
I forgot about that. Oh,
Stayed up and watched that game too.
Yeah, that was.
I can't believe. Did you stay up?
I did stay up. Now, I did not stay up to even watch my own Cowboys lose. I conked out for that first opening Thursday night game. Once the weather lightning delay hit, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
I stayed up for it.
Yeah.
Look at it this way: 3 years ago, if we'd be recording this, Commanders completely different look. I wouldn't have the optimism.
There's no
I have
hope.
now.
I mean, you go to, if you go to any game these days over this last 2 years, especially with the new owner, there is just a different buzz in the stadium, and it's impressive. I mean, their playoff run last season has then led to a very impressive schedule. So I'm curious of what you think about the Commanders' schedule and how that ranks with other teams around, because it's not easy, and they have some major primetime games as well.
I'm scared about Green Bay after watching Micah Parsons, to be honest.
Got to see what happens tonight. I mean, it's going to be a lot. He's a beast, by the way.
I'm optimistic that the Commanders can stay in the game with Green Bay, but just watching what I saw out of them, it's still too early to depict trends in the NFL, just in my opinion. But seeing what I saw after the Packers beating the Lions, I'm like, Commanders have to improve. And I'm saying that with the observations from last week that the Commanders had a lot of positives. Their defense straight up pressured Russell Wilson all game. New York didn't even score a touchdown. Offensive line, Jaden Daniels had some pressures where he was rolling out left and right, but he's a mobile quarterback.
Yep.
He was throwing to Debo most of the day and Zach Ertz, so he's Jaden's second
and
year.
They still need some kinks to work out. I mean, it's still the first game. You could tell offense was, not on all full cylinders there.
Yeah, that too, which I was like, it is week one, a win's a win. So this game's going to be tough, the Commanders Green Bay. But so far, I like what I'm seeing. If they can gel together even more, get that defense more involved, and offensively just get it clicking on all cylinders. And hopefully with the Terry McLaurin situation, he just got re-signed not too long ago. He hasn't been in training camp, so he might be a slow process to get back into the system. I'm hoping they utilize him more as well, because that could add an element too. But again, no Brown, Debo Samuel, even out of the backfield, a lot of good pieces. I'm very optimistic. If the Commanders lose on Thursday, I'll expect it. I'm not going to be that upset.
It's because it's not a home game. So you're going away to Green Bay on prime time. But again, the schedule is pretty impressive. I mean, the Lions are coming to town. There's primetime games that are going to be just, I think, going to put them on the spot. I hope the team can potentially cope with that pressure of being in those games.
I'm not worried about the Lions. I was worried about the Lions on the road in the playoffs.
Really?
So
Look at that, right? Okay, so you're right.
Look how they did that.
You sound like a lot of other talking heads, not people hype on the Lions this year. So
I didn't like what I saw, but it's only week one.
Only week one. Well, let's go to Aaron Rodgers. What do you think about the prospects of him leading his new team, deep into the season?
Well,
can you think he can handle the entire year? Is he going to stay healthy?
Can he stay healthy? I mean, that's an unknown.
Yeah.
I can't predict if he's going to get injured, but week one, I was very impressed. I thought he wasn't going to do well at all. But, there are a lot of critics on Aaron Rodgers, and he proved the critics wrong. And look what he did against the Jets. And credit to the Jets for staying in that game, too.
Yeah.
Very competitive game to watch. I believe 7 lead changes.
Yeah.
So that was really impressive to see. If he can keep that production up, the Steelers, I could see them again over 500 and in the playoffs.
Wow. That's a bold prediction there. That's making these Steeler fans around here happy.
But if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, because you do have that age factor, you never know.
Yep.
But Based off week one, I mean, I feel like with the targets that Rodgers was utilizing, again, it's a long season, but that's just based off of week one.
So who do you think, again, for these Philly fans around here, the people sitting here in these two seats aren't huge Philly fans, but what's your prediction? Do you think it's going to be Eagles with the division, or do you think it's going to be Commanders with the division?
That's going to be a dogfight, to be honest, I think. Philly has a lot of pieces. I think the only reason that Dallas-Philly game was close is because Jalen Carter got ejected.
Stop. You think one player made a difference early on that first drive?
I mean, Dak CD, that connection was good. I mean, towards the end, obviously, CD wasn't coming up with the clutch catches that he needed to. If he makes those catches, Dallas might win that football game.
I agree. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of his because of those moments. I mean, he's
highest paid wide receiver on the team too.
That's Jerry Jones for you. Yeah. Well,
did he mismanage Micah Parsons?
He
fumbled the bag there.
Everybody is saying that he thinks he was in charge, but I don't think he was in charge of that deal at all. So he definitely lost a key player and a key, voice, and basically talking about cohesion of a defense. Now, at least for the Cowboys defense, they're going to be struggling this year. So,
I mean, why do you go out and hire Matt Eberflus as your defensive coordinator?
Don't say yours. This is not me. I mean, I speak from an outsider perspective here.
I'm just saying, Matt Eberflus, I could find probably 3 better candidates than Matt Eberflus, especially after what happened when Chicago came to Washington last year.
Or how about the Commanders head coach? How about that? That'd be nice to have a defensive coordinator.
Who could handle that? Washington.
Yeah, I know. Well, rounding out Ravens for anybody who's watching, listening for the local presence. Where do we stand with Lamar Jackson and his next level of progressing, and maybe do they get to the playoffs and do they get to the Super Bowl?
John Harbaugh, the head coach with the most blown double-digit leads with 17.
That's an impressive stat.
Crazy, right?
Not a good stat.
Not a good stat.
Yeah.
And you saw that they were up by 16 with less than 4 in the fourth quarter?
Shocking.
In Buffalo.
No, I fell asleep and turned that one off too.
Yeah.
So that's why I forgot they lost, because I was like, oh, that game's over.
Well, I stayed up and watched it all. I could not believe the ending. But it's going to be interesting. Lamar, minus the Derrick Henry fumble, Lamar looked good. Derrick Henry looked like a tank.
Oh, he's a beast.
Running the football. They got to protect the lead. They really have to protect the lead.
Yeah.
Because, that stat, 17 blown double-digit leads.
You can't have that.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So
what the Bills did in the fourth quarter was amazing. Well, I heard a stat that the NFL is very proud of this year, that it was just over a 7-point differential in the win margins for the teams. The third lowest of all time is what they had said out there. So people are excited about the parity in the NFL, that there's not a lot of blowouts that happen in week one, a lot of close games, a lot of tight matches.
That keeps you more invested, involved, not turning off the TV too. There's week one matchups that keep you glued. It's like, man, football's back.
Yep.
I posted on Facebook. I'm like, this crazy ending, and it's only week one.
Only week one.
Bills Ravens. I did fall asleep. The Vikings made a comeback against the Bears, though.
That's true. I didn't hang for that one. And once you got through that week one and it's Monday night, I think it's like, oh wow, all right, we're not burnt on football yet. But by Monday night, you're like, okay, I can't stay up to watch every game.
Oh, just wait. There's a 10 o'clock matchup on Monday night, this upcoming Monday.
I forgot about that.
The doubleheader.
Yeah, but how about Commanders going to play in Madrid, I believe, later in the season? It'll be an interesting away game.
Well, you saw with the Chiefs and Chargers, any out-of-country game, it's going to put a kink in your routine. And, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to say anything can happen with an out-of-country game like that. First game in Madrid, if I remember correctly, you have to deal with the time difference, different country, maybe a different way of life. trying to keep things normal, I would imagine. And I know the league is probably stepping in to help with that as well. I'm not sure logistically how that looks, but, try to keep it as normal as possible, but give fans in Madrid an experience they might never forget.
Something else that we don't even think about, I have inside sources. A team doctor is a friend of mine for the Commanders, and he's talking about how they need to scout out what happens in case of an emergency and where do players go and how does the transportation system work with ambulances and what's the local hospital and who's ready to handle these things and what services they can they provide. So there's a lot that goes into it. And from an NFL perspective, they're scouting out which city is most capable of doing these things. And so these teams are almost on scouting, research, development, training pilot programs, if you want to call it that, for these games that they're going abroad, whether it be London or Dublin. Now they've been doing London for a while, but you name it. All Brazil, you'd mentioned the Chiefs and Chargers are there. There's a lot. NFL is a beast of a franchise that is just trying to grow globally. So, hey, you and I are just local community people. What if we went global? We could take our content out there beyond just these walls here. You never know.
Who knows?
Well, I appreciate you being here because it's fun to catch up. It's fun to chat. Love hearing where you are in your career as well. So point people to where they can find you and what are the key locations and the times that you're posting and releasing episodes.
Podcast once a week on all streaming platforms, all social media platforms, and YouTube. You can find all my stuff, KirbyOnSports.com. That's like the main website as well. But the Kirby on Sports podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, social medias as well. Just give us a follow, Kirby on Sports podcast or Kirby on Sports, Facebook, Instagram, X. Try to stay engaged, try to stay active on the local high school side and podcast side as well. So it's been fun so far with Carlos, Dan, and myself, and I appreciate all they do as well. And it's really fun doing that side too with Carlos and Dan because we just sort of kick back, talk football. There's some structure, but at the same time, loose, relaxed, and fun. So it makes things good. But I mean, so far, I'll be honest, the sleep aspect of my life has not been a lot. Let's just say I'm working a lot and I've lost some sleep. So I'll be honest.
But. Well, when you're a sports junkie, you gotta watch everything. We didn't even get a chance to talk college. That can maybe be another episode we'll get to.
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't really followed much. I did watch Lee Corso's Final pick. I'm not sure why Texas was ranked number 1 against Ohio State, but that's pretty much.
He put the Buckeye on his head. Got it done.
So is this Caleb's normal seat?
Caleb's normally in the third chair, which we moved off the set because he unfortunately wasn't able to be here today as well. So you can give him a shout out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is, Caleb. And, he just recently started his own podcast, but I mean, Caleb, I look kind of good on this podcast. No, I'm kidding. You obviously, just firing a friendly shot at my guy Caleb.
Love it. Well, Josh, thanks so much for being here, and let's continue to catch up because you are a wealth of knowledge. Local knowledge as well. So if you guys liked this conversation right here, you're going to get way more nerded out on football and sports if you go check his stuff out. So go do that.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Josh. Well, thanks so much. Having Josh Kirby on here was amazing. He just brings an element of enthusiasm and excitement, but also, as we said before, local knowledge about all those sports teams. It's impressive how he knows all the coaches' names, players' names, where they've been, where they're going, what team is on the rise, what their records are. It's just no wonder why he says he needs more sleep. He is out there studying sports all the time. So thanks again, Josh, for being on the show. Well, let me share what our local events are for the upcoming couple of weeks. Obviously, we have to talk about football. And so you heard from Josh that Hanley has a home game against Brentsville this Saturday. So you can check that out if you are in the city and in town. Go check out that local game. If you want Friday Night Lights, We've got a couple of local teams having home games. Millbrook is home to Loudoun County Friday night, tomorrow night, and Shenandoah is home to Jefferson. Sorry to the West Virginia folks. We kind of neglected to talk about the West Virginia high schools around here, but they're nearby. So obviously, shout out to them. So Shenandoah is home to Jefferson. James Wood they have an away game at Culpeper, and Clark County, they're home to Catoctin. So you get a chance to see them if you're out there in Berryville to see the hard fighting Clark County Eagles. Well, that's just the local sports of this weekend. If we look to see what else is happening in our world, in our town, one of the things we've mentioned already, I think even last episode, was the Fiddles and Fifths Bluegrass and Bourbon Festival is happening this coming Saturday downtown. And there is a whole slew of music, festivals, activities, food. It's a free event, so all the music is going to be there in front of the Civil War museum there on the Walking Mall. Bourbon tasting tickets are available to purchase, obviously, but just to hang around and see all the sights and experience the music, head downtown this coming weekend. The weather has been amazing lately, so hopefully that keeps up and get a chance to experience an amazing early fall activity there for us here in Winchester. Then for next weekend, there's a couple things I just wanted to highlight. First of all, we talk a lot about Apple Blossom Festival. Well, there's actually an Apple Harvest Festival that's going to be occurring at Frederick County Fairgrounds next weekend. So check that out. I'll put more details out there in the show notes to go to their links and website. And then there's a celebration that we've talked about before for the Hispanic community, Celebracion of Winchester Festival. That's going to be happening to celebrate the Hispanic Heritage Month for this season. So that'll be downtown as well. Rain or shine, free tickets to get all kinds of Latin music and performances, cultural shows, free activities for the games, for kids. Believe it or not, I was actually in New York City last weekend and walked through a festival that was an amazing Dominican experience, and just the people, the flair, the music, the activities that I saw in New York City certainly gives you just a taste of the blending and melting pot that our country is. And so hopefully we get a chance to experience that here in Winchester. Not the same level of what I might have seen in New York City, but they're going to bring it. So I have walked downtown when that's occurring. I believe I saw it a couple years ago. You won't want to miss it. Check it out. You get a chance to see just what our town offers. And that's the beauty of why we believe Winchester is a great place to live. Well, having said all that, obviously we believe that, and that's why you're watching and listening to the Iconic Talk podcast here. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I know you can share it with your friends. Give us a review. Let us know what you think about each and every episode. Tell us how we can maybe improve. Let us know who you want to see on the show. That's always a plus to know kind of what the listening audience is looking for, and we will hunt it down and pursue it. I'm excited about what next episode is going to bring, was really some downtown Winchester architectural information. So that's just a teaser of what's to come. Well, really, I love having all the guests on, and if you want to get on the show, jump over and just let me know. Sorry for missing Rachel and Caleb. We'll hopefully get them back sometime soon for next episode. I love having you guys as part of the audience. So I just thank you once again. Share this with your friends, as we mentioned. Thanks to our editing extraordinaire, Pierce Francis. Thanks to our social media dude, Tyson Francis. And until we chat again, let's think iconic.